Well, hello there. I'm back for more mobility movements. These ones are going to be a little bit harder than they were last time, and you're going to get your blood flowing a little bit more. These movements I'm specifically giving to you because they will help with total range of motion and mobility throughout the whole body. You might need a chair. I will give you some modifications for that because, like I said, they're a little bit harder than what I was giving you guys last week. You don't really need anything at all other than the chair if you need that for assistance. Shoes, if you have a floor rather than carpet, might be nice so you don't slip around everywhere. But it's going to be nice and quick. So if you want, you can pause it or you can just work out with me. All you need to do, find a wall or something that doesn't actually move. And you're going to start doing leg swings forward and back. So watch out for small children. Watch out for pets, and more importantly, just like really expensive things. Don't kick your TV off the stand. Start nice and slow, and then I want you to gently work your way up a little bit higher to both the front and the back, trying to keep that knee nice and straight, toe pointing up towards the ceiling. Breathing as deep as you can, just kind of loosening up the hip, the hamstring, and the hip flexor. Gently slow it on down, and then you switch to the other side. So I'm going to turn this way so that my supporting leg is on the outside, supporting hand is my left one, and the inside leg is the one that's swinging forward and back. So you start nice and slow, and then you work your way into it. Up, down, down. Trying to stay up nice and tall on the torso. Like I mentioned before, knee is as straight as it can be, especially when it goes forward. Toe pointing up. Slow it on down. And now we're going to be doing side kicks. So we don't ever really get side mobility in the hips, which is not that good. Hip replacement surgeries, usually we're very restricted in our movements and we get tighter and tighter. And arthritis sets in, and then you don't want to move anything. And one of the biggest ones that we have difficulty doing is that sideways motion. We're always just kind of, marching forward. So what I want to do is open up the hips sideways. Be careful. Don't hurt yourself. You're going to face the wall. Don't kick anything. And what I want you to do is you're going to swing that leg in front of your body and then out to the side. So very, very gently, just start nice and slow. And then as you work your way up, a little bit higher to the side. Now I have some hip injuries of my past. So one side will probably not be equal than the other. And that's pretty common. Slow it on down. And then I want you to switch to your other side. So again, don't kick anything to your other side. You start in front of the leg, and then you start to kick outward, okay? So it'll look like this. You're nice and tall, breathing deep. If you're using a chair, you can definitely use the back of a chair for support rather than a wall. Slow it on down. And then come a little bit closer to the camera so I can see you guys and you can see me. So the next one is just going to be core twists. Decently wide stance with the feet. Make sure that when you twist, you're going to lift that heel so you do not hurt the knee. If you go to twist that body and the knee does not get to move, you're going to hurt it, okay? So your arms are up at shoulder height, feet are about shoulder distance apart, and you're just going to go side to side, side to side. Building up that momentum. You might hear some snap, crackle, pop in the spine, which is totally fine. And this one, if you get dizzy, you can just look straight ahead, okay? You don't have to move the head. Some people find that if they're moving left to right, they start to spin a little bit. So do be careful with this one. Once again, you're just going to kind of slow it on down. Feet are going to come back to about shoulder distance apart. Try and keep your arm as straight as possible and as close to the ear as possible. And you're gonna do nice, slow arm circles. One, then the other. If you have shoulder tightness, it's gonna look more like this, okay? And you might not be able to get it back all the way. It might just kind of look like this. So you are working one, then the other, one, then the other, okay? So to your own range of motion, if you have very sharp pain, that's a bad sign, okay? Clicking, crunching, snapping, just forget about it, it's okay. Breathing nice and deep. Few more times. And good. This is, again, pretty wide stance. You can have your feet turned outward if you would like. What I'm looking for is your chest is straight, okay? So both your hands are gonna reach down towards the ground. You do not have to touch the floor, but if you can, you're gonna squat down like this, nice and low. And then come up, squeeze those glutes. So if you have to kind of shift your feet so they're a little bit closer, but you can still get down nice and wide, that's good. What I want you to do is just kind of hang out in this position before coming up. So it's all about that depth. When you go down, you're trying to open up the hips a little bit. Sit there for a second, and then come on up. So you keep going. I'm gonna show the chair if you need it. If you have the chair, again, it's that wide stance. You're decently far away from the chair so that you can squat down, and then if you need to, you can use the chair to come up. Okay? So keep going, keep going. I'm just gonna show it a couple different ways. So you're decently far away from the chair, and then you're gonna squat straight down into the hips and the knees, and then use the chair to come up to your own comfort level. You do not have to touch the floor. It's to open up those hips and then come up. Just a few more times. Down. Hold it for as long as you want while you're down there. And then standing up. Good. Okay. This next one, I'll show you without the chair first. But this is like it's a yoga-ish kind of position. Now, a lot of the time when you're doing a sun salutation in yoga, it's a very difficult range of motion for people to get down onto the floor into a plank position and then stand back up. Usually hip and knee problems. Yes, you need that range of motion. It's a beautiful thing for the hips and the knees, but don't hurt yourself. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it without a chair. If you have the range of motion and the mobility to do it, your feet are about hip distance apart. Bend into the knees. Walk forward till you're in that plank position. And I'm going to get you to bring that right foot in front of your hand, okay? Or rather beside your hand. So you're in this nice deep lunge position. And then, with your right hand, I want you to reach up towards the ceiling. You're getting that rotation in the torso. Bring that hand down, and it'll be left hand rotating up towards the ceiling, coming back down. Step back in a plank, and then that left foot is coming forward quite a bit, right in line with your hands. Don't worry about having to like shift your foot or anything like that, that's fine, okay? Breathing, what I want you to do is that left hand is gonna reach up towards the ceiling, bring it down, switch to your other side, bring it down, make sure you plant those hands, come back to plank, bend the knees, walk back, standing up, okay? Continue with that motion if you can do it without the chair. If you do have mobility issues, you're still gonna do this. It's just gonna be with the chair. So, if you need it, hands are gonna go on the edge of the chair. You step out into that plank position, nice flat hips. Step forward, that foot's gonna come pretty much right beside the chair. Okay, you're nice and tall in the torso. That right hand is reaching up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Come back down. Left arm reaching up. Twist in the spine. breathe. Coming back, step out into plank, left foot forward, nice and tall in the torso, left arm up, come back down, other arm up, come back down, and then I want you to step back into plank, feet come towards the chair, standing up nice and tall. If you're doing this every day, every second day, highly recommend it, okay? This is what builds strength, mobility, range of motion. So when I'm talking like this as an introduction for the first time, you're just gonna keep going through these movements while I'm doing this talk, okay? So if this is like the fourth time you're watching this video, just ignore me and keep going with that movement. I'm gonna do it one more time with the chair, or without the chair. Feet are about hip distance apart. Bend the knees to get down into that plank position. I'll actually turn this way so you can kind of see me. And your right foot comes forward right close to that hand. The right hand is going to reach up towards the ceiling. Torso rotates. Then come down. Left hand reaches up. Breathe. Then come down. Make sure your hands are in a nice, good posture so you can step back. Switching to that left side. I have vertigo, so if you notice that my head isn't twisting and looking up, it's because I don't want to pass out or vomit in front of you. So you're going to look up if you can towards the ceiling. Come back down. Other hand up towards the ceiling. Come back down. Reposition your hands. Plank. Bend the knees. Walk back with those hands. Standing up. Okay? Breathe. You should be able to get like 5 times while I'm talking through that series. So once you're done about 5 times, this last one is very simple. Forward fold and extension movement. Just opens up the spine and the shoulders. It's really, really nice. It's really, really slow. So I'll actually just start this way first. Feet are going to be about hips distance apart. Take a nice deep inhale. Reach the arms up over the head. Exhale. Hands come down. Start with the chin. Tuck it in towards the chest. Rolling down the spine. Bend the knees just a little bit. And then come forward. Now, I'm not going to put my head down. Vertigo. But if you can, just relax the head as well towards the floor. And every time you exhale, I want you to try and straighten your knees a little bit and reach a little bit more towards the floor. If you cannot reach the floor, that's fine. Your hands will be on your quads or on your shins. And when you inhale, you're straightening that spine. And when you exhale, you hinge at the hips. Inhale, straighten the spine. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Okay, I have a slight bend in my knees. Breathing through the belly. Now before you come up, bend the knees a lot, okay? And I want you to roll up the spine, squeeze in the glutes. Shoulders come up last. Inhale, reach up. Extension of the spine. I'm just going to turn this way. I want you to kind of lean back a little bit. Squeeze those glutes. Breathe deep. On your next exhale, arms are going to come down. Chin tucks in towards the chest, rolling down the spine. Coming forward, nice and careful. Slight bend in the knees, but pretty darn straight. When you inhale, the spine straightens towards the floor. When you exhale, hinge at the hips. Inhale, that heart reaches for the floor. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Now this, of course, it might be right at the quads. You're still straightening that spine, and then hinge. Straighten the spine, hinge. Or on your shins, or reaching for the feet, or on the floor, your choice. Breathing deep. First and foremost, you bend the knees. Squeeze your glutes as you roll up the spine. Shoulders coming back and down. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale nice and tall. Reach back. Breathe. Extend. Get those arms nice and close to the ears if you can. On your next exhale, hands come down the sides, tuck the chin in, rolling down the spine, reaching forward. Try and relax your head. You don't have to follow me. Relax the shoulders. Inhale, filling the belly. Exhale, hinging at the hips. When you are ready, bend the knees, squeezing the glutes, rolling up the spine, shoulders coming back and down, breathing nice and deep. And you're good. You did it. So, like I said, this video is meant every day. You can do these ones. They're beautiful, beautiful. You should be able to get better and better at it the more that you do it. The first time might be a little intense, but those movements are by far one of the best things that you can do for all the joints in the body. And through my talking, just make it your own. Do it as many times as you want. Do it slow, do it fast, modify as needed, pause it if you have to. It's here for your own health and wellness, super quick, okay? So have a wonderful day, everybody, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.